know, therefore, what we need to copy the developed worlds in terms of our youth skills programs. And we can only achieve this, therefore, by approaching the TVETs in our economy. So what is the picture that we have right now to help us understand, therefore, where we need to go or move to in terms of our TVETs? We are joined by Fred Owanda. He is the Deputy Director, Accreditation Services, TVETA. Let me just end it there. Mr. Fred, how are you doing, sir?
Fine, thank you, and thank you for having me this morning.
Anytime, man. Welcome to Metropole Television.
Thank you very much.
I just want to attack this subject from this perspective. You have interacted with the GIZ program. You know exactly what it is they're trying to achieve. How would you rate where we are currently, overall, in terms of our TVET's chances at sort of bridging this gap that we have between training and the labor market?
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me again once more this morning. I want to start by saying that the government of Kenya has realized that TVET is the way to go. And we know that from previous sessions, we have told that the people we have been having, the skills that the youth have been having, or there's a skills mismatch between our training institutions and what the industry expects. And therefore, the TVET, the government started the TVET reforms right from 2005 all the way up to now. And with those TVET reforms, there came the TVET Act that brought in the regulator, which is TVET Authority, to regulate and quality assure the training in this country. Two is that also we have gone from from supply driven to demand driven, meaning that our curriculum now is competence based education and training. And particularly in that respect, therefore, we are involving industries in our curriculum development. The industries are the ones that now are dictating what is it that they want from the training institutions.
Pretty much.
And therefore, we involve them in developing occupational standards, which lead to development of the curriculum, and then in the training aspect. And the training aspect now, what we are saying is that our trainees, as they continue training, they also go 3 months on industrial attachments. Then once they finish the training, they also go for an internship. I know you are aware that the government has a program on internship of 6 months, which can be renewed another 6 months for those who have already completed training. The purpose of this is to make sure that our trainees who have graduated can get the industrial experience or the industry experience, such that when they go to the world of work, they already know what is happening.
Isn't it? All right, so somebody would, since you come from inside this TVET, under this morning, somebody's going to ask you, why is it important for us to talk about integrating learning with work? Because somebody would like to think that our curriculum is way much developed, that it pretty much knows exactly what's going on in these industries.
Well, thank you very much. What the government is thinking that, when we are in training, part of it is theory-based. As much as the government has invested so much through the development partners on state-of-the-art training equipment in our very many institutions, but still there is that issue of attitude. You need to know, how do you relate? That's what you're talking of, the soft skills. How do you relate with the people in the working environment? Training in class is not the same as work in the work environment. Then work environment, there are so many dynamics involved, because there is the issue of organizational skills. There is the issue that how do I relate with my people in the places of work. The issue of attitude and mindset is also built up in the places of work. Therefore, the environment is different, and that's why the government sees it's very important to integrate what we call work integrated learning, where you are partly in school and partly you go to the work environment, so that you inculcate this other culture in the work environment, and therefore you are exposed and you know how to relate with each and every person.
Pretty much.
Yes.
All right. Now, I know you have mentioned a couple of notable developments that have happened under the TVET section within the country.
Yes.
And now we do have a TVET Act as well.
Yes.
Good for us.
Yes.
But now Kenya was added to as the 84th member of the World Skills International. What does that mean for our country?
Thank you very much. What that means, and as we were celebrating the World Skills Youth Day yesterday,
Yes.
what it means is that now our youth who are in our training institutions can be able to expose what their skills are internationally.
I see now.
We are able to compete at international competitions with the other countries.
Yes.
And therefore, the skills that we are seeing now with this COVID-19, you have seen what our youth have done. They have
Yes.
come up with very unique designs of beds, of ventilators. You can name it. So some of these designs, they can be entered in the World Skills Competition.
Yes.
And with that, one way is that we are building our country in terms of exports, such that if those designs can be competed in the world and they compete, you see, we can get people asking for them or to buy
Yes.
or to procure
Yes.
such. And therefore, our youth will be exposed to the world in terms of marketing their products.
Yes.
That is one of the strategies. And also getting exposed, it makes that our youth to even think more critically on coming up with very unique designs.
Yes.
That can help move this the economy of this country forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, somebody also said this morning when I asked you, therefore, what do the various stakeholders now in this value chain of integrating the youth with work need to do now more than ever? And have they done enough to push us to that point where we're saying someone who graduates from a training institution in the country, especially in Kenya, they are market ready, they are well prepared, they have been there. The only thing they're coming to do is plug in.
Okay, thank you. One of the issues that the stakeholders can do is to identify where is the gap.
I see.
And once they identify where is the gap, then what else they need to do is they help the training institutions or they help the curriculum developers to design or to come up with occupational standards, which will come up with the curriculum, which will help our skill to bridge that gap.
Yes.
In terms of training, and then from there we can move forward. So the stakeholders are very critical in identification of the gaps.
Yes.
And the skills that needs to be done, and then help us to see how do we bridge that gap.
Yes.
And also the other issue is industries collaboration. They can give opportunities to our trainees to have an internship or attachment in
Yes.
their industries.
Yes.
And also with that, they will be able to upskill their skill.
Yes.
in that aspect. And therefore, with the World Skills Competition, once you work in the industry, you know what is required, and the trainee can also observe what is the gap in making the product more better, and with that, they can come with better designs.
Yes.
And therefore lead to maybe take that to the World Skills Competition.
Pretty much.
Yes.
So I was speaking to a gentleman yesterday
Yeah.
who was within the industry. I won't mention who. He told me, don't mention me, but just go ask him this. He said that it's actually expensive to hire somebody from a training institute in the country because they say, we will, yes, hire you based on the fact that you've been trained, but then we invest more money in you again to bring you up to standard. Are you saying that if the stakeholders therefore come to you as well, this collaboration exists, that you shall be also saving them on the monies that they used in investing in these graduates as well?
That is right. For example, if you look at the Kenya Association of Manufacturers,
Yes.
they work hand in hand with the government. And they are always on the table with our State Department of Vocational Technical Training.
Yes.
To see how else can they help so that they can be able to mitigate these issues. Then we can have a more refined, skilled youth.
Yes.
Who once goes to the industry will use less money in training them. So let's train them while they are in the process.
Yes.
And not wait when they have completed the training to be retrained again when they are employed. So we want to inculcate this. And as I said earlier, the government with the development partners,
Yes.
the World Bank, GIZ, African Development Bank, you can name very many. They have helped the government to one, train our trainers, upskill their skills so that they can train skills. I mean, they can train the trainees more.
Yes.
And two is that they have provided our institutions with state of the art. What you can find in the industry is what we find in our institutions. So in that process of having those sophisticated machines where the trainees can be trained on, and that is what they will find in the industry. So the industry will invest less in upskilling them because already they have those training. And also knowing that trainees, after a while, they go for industry attachment. At the end of the training, they also go for internship. So this is one way of upskilling that, so that they reduce their expenses in retraining the trainees who graduate.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It couldn't be said better. Now you do know they exist. Talk to them, GIZ. Know the institutions they're working with right now, know exactly what they're building. You can also talk to us 2146. I know those messages are coming in at Metropole TVKE across all your social media platforms. We shall be sure to send them all to them, and guess what? They shall respond because they want you to be part and parcel of whatever it is that they want to build today. There's no better way to celebrate the Youth World Skills Day if not about talking on exactly how you can plug in directly to the labor market in the world and the country as well. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiaga. That's exactly how we clear your social media sport. This morning, we take a little break. Once we come back, let's talk about our economic review. Why is the shilling performing poorly against the dollar when we're getting told we have our economy chances this year as opposed to what gloom was given to us at the start of the coronavirus pandemic? Once we come back.